Welcome to today's session. I am Sridevi from the Department of Food Technology, Andhra Loyola College. Here in this session, we are going to learn about browning in foods. So we have the contents like what is browning, types of browning, importance of browning, is this browning reaction a desirable one or undesirable one, and glance at a research level. Lastly, the conclusion part. So here firstly, what is browning? Browning is naturally occurring chemical reaction in most of the fruits and vegetables. So these browning reactions we can see in almost every fruits and vegetables in our day-to-day life. For suppose a browning of apples, brinjals, potatoes, bananas. It is the simple definition of browning is that browning is a naturally occurring chemical process in which the food turns to brown in color because of the chemical reactions that takes place within it. Nextly, types of browning. Here, based on the enzymatic activity, browning reactions are of two types. One is enzymatic and the other is non-enzymatic. As the name itself says that the enzymatic browning reaction is a reaction in which the enzyme called polyphenol oxidase is involved. So this is simply the oxidation of the particular food material. When the fruit surface is exposed to air or when it is cut or injured or bruised, these polyphenolic substances which are naturally present in most of these fruits and vegetables are exposed to oxygen, and at the same time the enzyme which is responsible for this browning reaction, polyphenol oxidase, reacts with these polyphenolic substances and results in the formation of quinones. These quinones further undergoes a polymerization reaction and results in the formation of melanoids which are responsible for causing of the browning reactions in that particular foods. So these enzymatic browning reactions we can see in fruits and vegetables like browning in apples, browning in potatoes, browning in brinjal and browning in bananas. Simply we can say it as the substrate involved in this enzymatic browning is the polyphenolic substances, for suppose catechol, tyrosine, mono or dihydroxyphenols. These are one of the polyphenolic substances which are present in these foods. So these substrates when interacted with the enzyme called polyphenol oxidase results in the formation of a product called melanoids which results in formation of this brown color in that particular foods. Nextly, the non-enzymatic browning. Here in this reaction, no enzyme is involved. So the enzyme which is responsible for the browning of foods mostly is the polyphenol oxidase is absent in this reaction. It is called as non-enzymatic browning. So as there is no enzyme involved in this reaction, it has two different categories like caramelization and Maillard reaction. What is caramelization? Caramelization is a process in which the sugar molecule is broken down at a certain temperature which is 160 degrees centigrade. So here in this caramelization we have a sugar molecule which undergoes pyrolysis, that is the breakdown of that particular sugar molecule in presence of heat, which ultimately results in the formation of different types of caramels, like we can see in this here the image having light to dark colored caramel stages. The type of the sugar molecule involved has different temperatures in it. So here the caramelization, only the compound or the food present is the sugar. Pyrolysis of this sugar results in the caramelization at a temperature of 160 degrees centigrade. Nextly, the Maillard reaction. Here in the Maillard reaction, two components, that is the protein and the carbohydrate, are involved in presence of heat. Particularly the carbohydrate is the reducing sugar. What is reducing sugar? Reducing sugar is a sugar in which the free carbonyl groups, that is the free aldehyde and free ketonic groups, are present in its structures. Those structures are called as reducing sugars. So here a protein reacts with these reducing sugars in presence of heat at a temperature of 140 to 165 degrees centigrade and results in the formation of a large complex molecules called melanoids. and which ultimately leads to the production of brown coloration in that particular food product. So this Maillard reaction is mostly seen in toasted breads or roasted nuts, roasting of coffee beans and etc. Nextly, the importance of these browning reactions. Here this browning reactions is important or necessary because it develops some flavor, some color, enhances the taste, improves the overall acceptability of that food product and also implies a unique taste to that food product. On a whole note, it is very important for certain foods for its overall acceptability. Nextly, is this browning desirable or undesirable? It is both a desirable reaction and as well as it is an undesirable reaction. It is desirable in cases such as during the drying of the tea leaves, roasting of the coffee beans, production of a bread and chocolate manufacturing, etc. It is undesirable in cases such as fruits and vegetables. When we cut these food surfaces, they are immediately prone to oxidation and results in the formation of brown coloration on its surface, which is not good to eat, and as usual it is discarded. So these types of undesirable reactions could be avoided if we follow some of the measures like preventive measures. Here we have listed different types of preventive measures like treating that particular food product in acids like ascorbic acid treatment or citric acid treatment or blanching. Blanching is a process in which that particular food product is boiled to a certain temperature and it is immediately cooled so that we can reduce the browning reactions. The intensity of that browning reaction could be reduced by following any of these preventive measures. Nextly, glance at a research level. What is this glance at a research level? Here we are going to cover what do the researchers say about this browning, what are these findings or what are their advices. So every researchers who work on browning reactions take these apples as a sample for their experiment purposes. So apple is one of the fruit which is having high phenolic content. Because of having its high phenolic content, the browning reaction is so often occurs in this particular fruit. So for this to decrease or reduce the incidence of that browning in that particular apple, recently genetically modified apples called as Arctic apples are introduced. So particularly in this type of genetically modified Arctic apples, the phenolic content of that apple is actually reduced, which helps us in delaying or reducing the browning reactions. And they have also says that the pH of that particular enzyme PPLO, polyphenol oxidase, is active at slightly acidic to neutral conditions. So if you are able to create more acidic conditions for that particular food product, we can actually decrease the incidence of that browning. It means we can actually delay the process of browning before the processing of that particular food product. And they have also suggested some physical and chemical methods to inhibit that particular enzyme activity. Nextly, the conclusion. Overall, the conclusion part is browning is a type of commonly occurring reaction in almost all fruits and vegetables. It is sometimes desirable and sometimes undesirable. In that particularly undesirable conditions, we can follow any of the preventive measures like ascorbic acid treatment, blanching or any of this, so that it can result in delaying of that particular browning. And browning is essential in particularly some foods like bread, grilled fruits, grilled vegetables and grilled meat foods and etc., so that it enhances the taste, overall acceptability. One of the important point is that these browning reactions actually results in loss of certain nutrients like heat sensitive or heat liable vitamins like B vitamin. But at the same time, it enhances the nutritional absorbability or bioavailability of certain nutrients like melanoids. These reactions occurs ultimately results in the formation of melanoids, which increases the nutritional absorbability. Thank you.